Okay, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to
Talk about that, especially with the Black community. Like,
amicable splits is crazy.
it is.
It's
It
like
is. I like it though.
nobody is staying together anymore.
They're not.
Nobody.
They're not. But it's almost therapeutic that they're not fighting and splitting up, and it's this big bad breakup. They're splitting, and it's kind of.
Oh, of course. What they've learned is the smarter thing to do. I don't think it has anything to do with how nice people are. I think it's just learn. It's not. It's the smartest thing to do, especially when you're in the light.
Mm-hmm.
It's better for your career to just part ways and not say anything. Michael B. Jordan, come on now. Michael B. Jordan had some stuff to say.
I'm surprised, and he didn't say anything.
He's smart.
He didn't say anything.
He's smart. I've been watching him since Fruitville Station. That movie was heartbreaking.
It was good.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's the smartest thing to do. Especially for men.
For men.
If men say anything, it's over.
Well, you gotta speak your truth.
Not for men. Men can't speak any truth.
You don't think so?
No.
You get crushed.
Look at Kanye.
Yeah, they label him as crazy because
But he's just speaking his truth. We can't speak our truth. Because if my truth contradicts what your truth is,
mm-hmm.
everybody's going to be on your side. And everybody that's not on your side is not going to say anything. Because they also know that they can't speak their truth.
But then that doesn't help because
it doesn't.
Yeah, because people need to see like healthy arguments and healthy.
Not now they don't. They do, but they don't
it's the cancel culture.
It is.
That's causing people to be quiet and not say nothing.
Yeah, I'd rather be quiet and continue my career than speak out and be done for the rest of my life.
I don't know. Would you speak?
Would I speak? No. No. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of liking this podcast thing. It might help somebody.
It might help somebody.
It might help somebody, but it's gonna ruin me. What? That's why I say I love Kanye, because hey, bruh, somebody got to fall on the sword.
So why not help him?
I am helping him.
Not if you don't speak your truth.
I'm speaking his truth. That's his truth. I'm speaking my truth too. Yeah. As long as my truth ain't too out there.
Yeah, you don't have to like elaborate, but.
No, I ain't got nothing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But yes, I'm. At least Kanye got enough money to fall on. If you're gonna fall on a sword, at least have your money.
Pillow of money.
Yeah. But I mean, they tried to tell me he was crazy when they've been calling him crazy since Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Or when he said George Bush don't like black people.
But did he?
No.
Okay, so it's
that's a. That was another thing I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put that in my notes. That I'm gonna look it up. There is a representative that got caught on tape calling talking about a little black boy who was on a float with his white dad, and both of them are representatives. Both of them are representatives, but she's Hispanic. She's Hispanic. They both represented. She was caught on camera talking to other Hispanic men about said boy, about how he was jumping up and down on the float and looked like he needed to go get a whooping, and how she would whoop him, and then said he was jumping up and down like a monkey. There it is. Los Angeles city official resigns amid furor over racist comments. Yeah, Miri Martinez. They caught it on camera. I mean, on recording. It's like in one of those meetings, where they think they find out the microphone was still running. Mm. And there's the thing to me. I think y'all have got some racists in us.
Don't look at me.
If you live long enough, you will develop biases.
Bias, not racism.
Right. Bias is the first form of racism. Because you go from biases to stereotypes to discrimination to racism. So we all develop biases of how we expect people that we see to be before we meet them. So that's you automatically you automatically think an Asian person is smart, mm-hmm. or you automatically think that a black person is athletic, mm-hmm. or you automatically think that an old Asian lady can't drive. They can't drive. Never. You never heard of them?
No.
You automatically think that a Hispanic person likes beans. Those are biases. But and we all say, this would get me though. Every one of us know, every one of y'all know that you have seen some white person walking through the store and their kid is, and you over there, you look to the person that's beside you and be like, they need to beat that kid. That kid need to whoop it. Doggone folks around here ain't taking care of their kids, ain't disciplining their kids. And you know what we say? Doggone Anglo-Saxons don't know how to raise their kids, don't know how to discipline their kids. We didn't say it.
So if we identify incorrect behaviors in Anglo-Saxons and say that that's wrong, we turn a cheek to our own because
we don't want to be called out. It's not about what you say, it's about what you get caught saying.
Because a lot of times, black kids don't act out until they get older. Or
they get at home. Don't you go out here and embarrass me.
Yeah. And that's because so society portrays black people in a certain way.
Yeah.
So certain behaviors you see and you're like, oh, they're acting out, or they're not acting how they're supposed to be. But that's because they're comparing them to different people. Different people bring their children up different ways. Mm-hmm. So a Spanish person, their child acts out, and you see their mom or their grandma, she'll take off her chancleta and pop them with it.
Yeah.
Black parents, they get a belt or a switch.
Mm-hmm.
White parents, they get the switch too. They get the switch, or they'll spank them with their hands.
Or they'll say, "Stop it, stop."
No, they spank.
All of them.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
But not all of them. But not all black people spank. Not all black people spank their children. But we, like I said, we have these biases because we you don't never look at me like that. Y'all know y'all. Yeah, them said them white folks don't not discipline their kids.
Mm.
It's not always true,
No.
but we sure see some of them dragging their kids through Walmart, kicking and screaming. My son did that one time.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 4,
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4, and we was walking through Walmart, and he saw a toy,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted it, and I was like, no. And we kept walking,
Mm-hmm.
and he decided to plant his feet like he wasn't gonna move, and I kept dragging, and after I dragged about half a foot, I ain't dragged that long, I'm dragging you. I went up, pinched him, and he started crying, ah! And he started crying and trying to fall all on the floor this time. He tried to fall all on the floor, and so I picked him up, and I was with his mom at the time. We walked through the room. I said, "You get what you need to get. We're going to the car."
Mm-hmm.
And I walked to the car, and he was kicking and screaming all the way to the car, and I got in that car, and he was crying in the car. And the whole ride home, he was crying, and I'm looking at him through the window. Don't you ever embarrass me like that. He's 4 years old. Do you know he never did that again?
Yeah. It don't always.
And I ain't beat him though.
It don't always.
It was hand to cheek. I tell you, I get full hand to full cheek.
And I'm gonna catch you on that one because that doesn't always work. You don't always have to spank your child in order to get them aligned. Because as you see with T.I., he said he'd spank his son. That's not working.
Yeah,
for
but
him.
it's about
Doesn't work
when
for
too.
everybody.
How and when.
It doesn't work for everybody.
How and when. If you wait until they teenagers to start spanking them, it's too late, bro. You gave them.
So there's other ways you can redirect them and put them in the right direction. So if and then you have to figure out what constitutes a whooping, because a whooping is corporal punishment. That's putting physical or inflicting physical pain in order to teach a lesson. That's what they did in slavery, and that's why
control.
Yeah,
it's
the same thing. If you're using it to force a behavior, then inflicting pain is the same thing as a whipping with a whip as a slave. As being a slave.
Right.
So I would rather.
But that I mean it's not. But the slave owner did not give birth to that child. To that slave.
But they owned them.
Yeah, but
and they fed them and clothed them.
Right.
So that's the same.
It's not the same.
That's like
a parent. So you're saying the parent whipping their child is the same?
That's like adoption. So if you have a
child,
now
you comparing slavery to adoption. You said adoption is slavery. That's what you just said. You said it's like adoption.
Because if you have a child that you adopt and you have to discipline them, you're providing clothes for that child. You're providing food. It's the same. It's the same. It's not the same in the sense that you're providing love and nourishment for that child. No.
Slavery thought they was providing love.
Some of them think Master loved them, but that's not what was going on. Everybody knows. But in that same sense, that's what it is.
If you introduce a child to corporal punishment early, you don't have to do it. You won't have to do it later.
But you don't have to do it. You'll still have to do some type of punishment. And if you constantly
no, you won't actually always have to do some other punishment. Yes, you can. I do have the punishment
because they'll build up a tolerance. That's what I'm saying. Like if you have to,
you build up a tolerance for these hands.
Yes, you can build a tolerance. You can get spanked and you're gonna go back to doing the same thing, or you'll end up doing something worse. or
Because they get spanked hard enough.
no.
Yeah,
So that's inflicting pain.
yeah, but like what I'm saying is,
Mm-hmm.
if you teach them that the action that they're doing
Mm-hmm.
at that specific moment
Mm-hmm.
is not the correct action, and you discipline them, then they start to learn not to tolerate the pain, but to not do the action.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do that, and then once you've identified the things that they are not supposed to do,
mm-hmm.
then you can talk to them
Mm-hmm.
if they cross that line and let them know what the consequences will be, and they'll understand
Mm-hmm.
that they don't want that consequence. So that's when you start to develop their mind by saying you can do the right thing and not feel any pain, or you can do the wrong thing and feel the pain, and then you're teaching them about making the correct choices.
So it's a form of brainwashing.
So what's the difference between brainwashing a child and teaching a child?
So in brainwashing, so you're trying to influence your opinion on the child. Sometimes your opinion isn't always right.
So okay. So what about 2 + 2? In some other place across this universe, 2 + 2 could not be 4.
Mm-hmm.
But to teach them 2 + 2 is 4 just because that's what it is here on Earth is brainwashing.
That just went way over my head. No. 2 + 2
It's brainwashing. No, that's brainwashing.
No.
Yes, it is. You're trying to put the information that you know. You're trying to get their mind to agree with what you know.
No.
But what they know might be different.
So you're trying to influence the best that you know on your child.
What's the difference between brainwashing?
The best that you know isn't always right. So you're giving your child the best that you can, but it's not always right. So sometimes it takes a form of redirection so that you can try to redirect them onto the right path.
What way do you redirect them?
So if it's a behavioral thing, you redirect them to a different type of behavior.
In what way?
In a way that can provoke creativeness for them to be open and come and talk to you.
But what if the way that they're doing it is the way that they want to?
Then that's the whole thing of redirecting. You redirect them into the way that they're supposed to go.
What if they don't want to go in that direction?
You can't beat them and force them into it.
I'm not saying that you can. I'm saying what's the answer to what if they don't want to go in that direction?
Sometimes you just gotta, I'm not saying you gotta let their hand go, but sometimes you just have to let them figure it out for a little bit for themselves in order for them to understand it.
So
because that's going to happen eventually. Because when they turn 18, they're not going to just get big and go out the house and.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna give you a real world scenario because I'm gonna crack them holes in this glass. So your child is not tall enough to reach the glass on the top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them, hey, if you want to get that glass off the top shelf, you need to use a step stool.
Mm-hmm.
They prefer to climb on top of the counter and grab this glass out of the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
You catch them and say, no, that's not the way you grab a glass out of the cabinet. You need to use a step stool.
Mm-hmm.
They come back the next day and climb on the counter and get the glass.
Mm-hmm.
They drop the glass. It breaks. You say, what?
I don't understand what you're getting at.
What are you going to do to redirect that child to the point of using the step stool?
by that time they have already grasped the lesson that they're not supposed to climb on the counter because the reaction to the glass breaking. So
Yes.
then that child will understand, okay, I shouldn't do that. Because
Okay, what if
we
the
have-
child
you
doesn't
have
understand?
because you have to give children the credit because they're very smart.
Yes, they
so,
are.
So if that child doesn't understand that climbing on the counter causes the glass to break, you explain it to them. Like, hey, look, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that you had to use a stool to climb to get to the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So since you didn't use a stool, the glass broke, and you could have cut your foot. Anything, any amount of things, stuff could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you explain that to them, and they'll soak that in a lot better than charging at them and saying, "Oh my goodness, you broke the glass. You should have been using the step stool. Come here, I'm going to spank you so that you can learn this lesson." They're learning a lesson twice. They're learning that, okay, I didn't get the step stool and the glass broke, and also that mommy or daddy gets angry when I climb or I'm unable to help myself, because in their mind, their children are they're independent thinkers, but they rely on us for information, right? So if they're in a situation to where they're supposed to be independently thinking and something happens to snap that, then you have to give them grace and let them know that yes, mistakes happen, and I've told you the steps to go so this wouldn't happen, instead of charging at them, because it's traumatic. And even in that sense, when trauma happens, it shortens their memory and their attention span. So then they start to almost walk on eggshells. So when something happens, it almost short circuits them, because they're waiting for, okay, the lesson, and then they're also waiting for the corporal correction. So it's almost like double the lesson for what you're supposed to get. And that's why that's why it takes a lot of Black people longer to learn lessons, because they have to learn it twice in order to get it once.